You know, a lot of people feel that Meghan Markle believes, of course, that the royal family are indeed something of an albatross around her neck. You know, seemingly everything she does, touches, whatever, it all reverts back to her former family. A family, of course, that she seemingly now cut off and hasn't seen in, well, over a year plus, of course. What's fascinating about this is that her latest venture, allegedly, she believes is yet another thorn in the side of the British monarchy. And truly, she wants to make it stop. Let me explain. Morning, lovely to see you today, and as ever, thank you for taking the time out to join me. Yes, I know, I hope you're busy. Have you eaten your Easter eggs yet? Have you started? I know you just start, don't you think, I'll just have a bit. Suddenly the egg's gone. Pile of tin foil at the side of you and you think, oh, wait, all of that. Do you remember when you used to get little pockets of things inside the eggs though, like, you know, Smarties and stuff like that? They were almost as big as the egg. Not now, are they? You can count them on one hand. And I'm tight, aren't I? I know, but you know what I mean. Everything's shrinkflation. I'm fed up of that, aren't you? Whatever you buy, suddenly you're thinking, oh, this isn't what it was. And then you kind of wonder why you've bought it. We'll all be living on toast and beans soon. Well, I virtually do. I know, no, because the thing is, at least you know what you're getting with a tin of beans, don't you? Even they're less sugar now. Stop me, eh? Now, back to your own story of the day. As I say, when you think about Meghan Markle, some might suggest, of course, that when they dashed off over to the world of Canada, they were then thwarted by the backlash, of course, of the worldwide pandemic. You know, their idea was to take on that particular plot and conquer the world, as one might suggest. Of course, once it hit Canada, then, of course, the pandemic took hold. And the problem was that, of course, it just literally shut down the world. The bigger issue about that story really is that Meghan herself at the time said that that was just unfortunate because of course they had so many plans and the world literally changed. And then of course they decided to do the infamous Oprah Winfrey interview, which was a huge backlash. On top of all of that, if you remember, Meghan's podcast had to be paused during the sad demise of our wonderful monarch Queen Elizabeth II. And according to a very well-placed source who worked on the podcast, you know, they sort of thought, well, the momentum had gone. You can't go in that sort of arena associated to such the most famous woman in the world, and then you have to pick your topics incredibly carefully and of course post-production them. Obviously, that's, you know, just simple respect. But now, of course, fast forward to Meghan's latest venture, American Riviera Orchard. It's fascinating here again is this particular project came up with no background at all, no way to buy the products or anything like that. And suddenly it's launched and now she's looking for a CEO. There's nothing to buy. It's a bit of a mess, to say the least. But more importantly now, she feels that this particular bombshell is also going to derail that launch. This is the unfortunate association for her husband, the former royal known as the Duke of Sussex, of course, and Sean Combs, the rapper P. Diddy Puff Daddy. This is all over the papers for the last few days and really is overshadowing a positive PR spin that really they believe her team, William Morris Endeavour Agency, should be focusing on Meghan and the lifestyle brand. Now, if you want to take either side, you can understand how this is just impacted negatively. Seemingly, every time she comes up with some kind of project, inadvertently, someone around her manages to derail it. And I'm not speaking disrespectfully of our wonderful monarch, Her Majesty the Queen. But of course, nothing could have done that. You know, nothing could have stopped that, of course. But the other side of the coin is when you think about Meghan, she now, I've been told, feels she's almost jinxed. Every time she comes up with something, there's something popping up straight away afterwards. Whether it be, of course, the unfortunate health concerns and worries for the Princess of Wales, Catherine, and of course His Majesty the King. She's acutely aware, as her team are, that anything will look in bad taste and play very negatively if she pushes ahead. But if she doesn't go forward, then it's saying it's a failure, it's a flop. So she is kind of cornered in one particular area that she can't move from. And right now, that is the bigger problem surrounding Meghan and her team over in California. How do they climb out of these associations and, of course, lead independently? Now, one might say you can never do that once you've been part of the British monarchy. You know, if you look back to the history of time, Wallis Simpson was always mentioned in the same line. Of course, she remained married to the former king. But even Sarah Ferguson, who openly trades, obviously, on her title, the Duchess of York, knows that's the interest factor, that's what people want to talk about. One might suggest that someone in Meghan's team really needs to discuss with her that this is the life she chose, this is the life that she claimed she wanted to be part of, and now because she's decided once again to go down another path, well, how they navigate that path is going to remain tricky, quite simply, forever. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.